Over 9.25 lakh people affected in 23 districts of Assam as the flood situation becomes critical. Heavy rains raise the water level in Bihar's Mahananda River. Centre assures help to Chief Ministers of Assam and Bihar. Met Department forecasts heavy rains for the next 2 days in Northeast and Bihar. States take cautious measures in the unlock phase. Maharashtra government to extend lockdown in the state beyond 30th of June with some relaxations to revive economic activity. Complete 14-day lockdown kicks in Guwahati from yesterday night. Manipur extends lockdown till 15th of July. Home Minister reiterates that there is no community transmission of COVID-19 in Delhi. Says the situation in Delhi will improve on the back of testing, tracking and treatment services. Asserts that India will win the twin battle against COVID-19 and China under leadership of Prime Minister Modi. The nationwide recovery rate from COVID-19 climbs further to 58.56%. The number of active cases now stand at 203,000. Worldwide tally of those infected by COVID-19 goes beyond 1 crore. Global death toll crosses the grim mark of 5 lakh. BJP holds Jan Samvad rallies in 4 states on Sunday. Senior BJP leaders target Congress over the border issue. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman hits out at Mamata Banerjee government in West Bengal for not implementing the central government schemes. Good morning. You're watching DD News and I'm Preeti presenting the bulletin. Our top story first. The monsoon has covered the entire country, but it still has to come into full flow in several parts of North India. But elsewhere, it has come down hard in eastern parts of the country. Flood situation is further developing in several northeastern states and Bihar. The flood situation in Assam remains grim. A total of over 9 lakh people in 2,071 villages remain affected as 23 districts of the state are reeling under floodwaters. Due to continuous downpour in the upstream areas in Arunachal Pradesh and Assam, water level in almost all rivers is above the danger level mark. In the last 24 hours, Barpeta district is the worst hit, where above 1,35,000 people have been affected. With 2 more deaths reported from Jonai and Udalguri, the death toll has reached to 20 due to floods now. The state government has set up 193 relief camps and relief centers across the state to provide succor to people. More than 27,000 people have taken shelter in these camps. Union Home Minister Amit Shah on Sunday called Chief Minister of Assam Sarbanand Sonowal and Home Minister of Assam Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma and inquired about incidents of landslides along with flood and erosion in the state. During the conversation, the Union Home Minister assured all help from the central government in mitigating the situation. And to get us more on the current situation, our correspondent Kamal Bora is joining us. Kamal, we tell our viewers that the situation is still grim in Assam. Let us know the current updates and also how is the weather being predicted in the coming few days.
Yes, Preeti, as you have already mentioned, that situation remains really grim in the whole state as far as flood is concerned. We have seen that little respite from the downpour in the last 24 hours. But Met Department has already predicted that in the coming next 2-3 days, heavy rainfall might take place in the northeastern part, mainly in the upper stream areas of Arunachal Pradesh and Assam. And if really it happens, then definitely situations might, green further in the days to come. Everything is depending on the weather condition only, rain only. As far as the present situation is concerned, already you have mentioned that more than 9,26,000 people got victimized so far till yesterday 8 o'clock in the evening. And the worst affected districts, just day before yesterday, it was Dhemaji, but yesterday the Borpata district has crossed, overshadowed the Dhemaji districts, and now it has emerged as a worst affected district with more than 1,35,000 people got victimized of this flood. And if we talk about the second state, second districts, as Dhemaji districts and Nalbari districts, we have to mention, because more than 9 lakh people in each districts got victimized during this flood situation. So definitely, mostly the Upper Assam areas are worst hit during this flood. And to give proper relief and the proper food material, proper required items to the whole flood victim, state government is leaving no stone unturned. 193 relief camps have been set up where 27,000 people are taking shelter. And as far as rescue operations are concerned, mostly it's happening in the Dibrugarh districts, Nalbari districts, Borpeta, Bongaigaon, Udalguri. In all these districts, rescue operations are going on in full swing. And SDRF team, Inland Water Transport personnel, and the personnel from Army also, they are engaged in rescue operations. More than 60 boats have been deployed, and 9,000 people have been evacuated so far, and rescue operation is still on. So every possible effort is being done to get relief to the people who are who are facing difficulties due to this flood situation. And even you have just mentioned that Center has also assured that all possible help, whatever it is required. So every possible measures have been taken to get relief to the people who are facing difficulties. Definitely, everything is now depending on weather condition. If it improves, then we can see some improvement in the flood situation also.
Okay, Kamal, so that was about the efforts which are being made by the state administration. Let us know more about how is the weather predicted in the next few days?
Yes, definitely, Preeti, I'd like to say that in the last 24 hours, we have not seen heavy rainfall in most of the parts of Assam state. We have seen little respite from the downpour, but Met Department has already predicted that in the coming next 2-3 days, heavy rainfall might take place in most of the parts of the northeastern state. If rainfall takes place in Arunachal Pradesh, because that is in the upstream areas, so if rainfall takes there, then definitely the water will flow from that side to the lower Assam part, and situation will be grim in the days to come if rainfall takes place. And if we go by the Met Department, definitely we have an apprehension that situation might go worse in the days to come further.
All right, Kamal, thank you so much for joining us with those inputs. And now we'll get you an update on the flood situation and the rainfall situation in Sikkim. Or before that, we tell you that NDRF is taking rescue and relief measures in the flood-affected areas. And these are the visuals we are getting for you. And we tell you that more than 70 teams of NDRF are deployed in various states that have come under the spate of floods. 20 such teams are deployed in Assam, out of which 11 are in the flood-affected areas, and 9 teams have been kept reserved. 12 teams deployed in flood-affected districts of Bihar, and 2 teams are kept in reserved. 10 teams are deployed in West Bengal, and 7 are on standby. And now let's get you the current situation in Sikkim. When we talk of the flood situation, Sikkim is also badly affected due to heavy downpour. 19 houses and an old hostel of a senior secondary school have been damaged in flash floods in Upper Dongu region of North Sikkim district. The local administration has evacuated the affected families to Public Health Engineering Department's building at Pasidang. Meanwhile, eastern end of monsoon trough continues to run along the foothills of Himalayas with convergence of strong southwesterly winds from Bay of Bengal over northeast and adjoining East India. The non-stop monsoon rain in the state has led to fresh landslides in many places, which resulted in destruction of some houses. Border Road Organization is working on its toes to repair the dilapidated parts. Also, flood-like situation remains critical in Bihar's Mahananda River, which has affected several districts of the state. Home Minister Amit Shah had a conversation with Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar over the situation. In a tweet, the Home Minister said, and I quote him, "Talked to Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar regarding the rising water level of Mahananda River in Bihar. I assured him of all possible help from the central government for safety of the people of Bihar." And the Indian Met Department has predicted heavy downpour in northeastern states and parts of Bihar in the next few days.
मानसून ट्रफ की पोजीशन है जो क्लोज टू फुटहिल्स है और आने वाले 4-5 दिनों में यही पोजीशन रहने वाली है। उसके प्रभाव से हम उम्मीद कर रहे हैं कि बिहार और नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट्स में वाइड स्प्रेड एक्टिविटी में 75% स्टेशन से ज़्यादा रेनफॉल एक्टिविटी रहने की उम्मीद है और उसके साथ हैवी टू वेरी हैवी फॉल मीन 10 से 12 सेंटीमीटर रेनफॉल एक्टिविटी स्पेसिफिकली बिहार में आने वाले 2 दिनों में और नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट्स में भी ये एक्टिविटी आने वाले 4-5 दिनों में कंटिन्यू रहेगी और बिहार में 2 दिनों के बाद थोड़ी रेनफॉल की इंटेंसिटी कम हो जाएगी।
Union Home Minister Amit Shah, in an exclusive interview to a news agency, has said that India will win the battle against both the challenges of COVID-19 and China under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He also attacked Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, saying that it is for the Congress to reflect upon how Pakistan and China are amplifying their leaders' statements. The Home Minister also refutes all speculation related to community transmission of COVID-19 in Delhi.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah has assured that under leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, India will be victorious on both fronts, COVID pandemic and China. Speaking to a news agency, Amit Shah spoke on a number of key issues.
मैं एक बात स्पष्ट कर दूं, दोनों जंग हम जीतेंगे और जनता को आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूं कि मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में दोनों जंग जीतेंगे।
Amit Shah said centre is capable of dealing with anti-India propaganda. Reacting to statements by Rahul Gandhi over the China issue, Amit Shah said the Congress leader is indulging in cheap politics. Congress party needs to think how their leaders' comments are being used by China and Pakistan.
कोरोना के खिलाफ भारत सरकार ढंग से लड़ी है। मैं राहुल जी को एडवाइस नहीं दे सकता, उनको एडवाइस देने का काम उनकी पार्टी के नेताओं का है और मैंने पहले भी कई इंटरव्यू में कहा कि कुछ वक्रदृष्टा लोग होते हैं, उनको सीधी बात भी वक्र दिखाई पड़ती है। जहां तक कोरोना की लड़ाई का सवाल है, भारत सरकार ने ये लड़ाई ढंग से लड़ी है।
Amit Shah is leading the efforts to tackle the COVID challenge in Delhi. He elaborated on the steps taken to deal with the pandemic in the national capital. He assured that Delhi is now in a better position to manage the infection outbreak. He said Prime Minister himself is closely monitoring the situation.
देश का प्रधानमंत्री आपकी हर चीज की चिंता कर रहा है, पल पल की जानकारी उनको मिल रही है, वो सामने से भी इसकी परीक्षा करें। इसलिए कृपया पैनिक में मत आइए और प्रधानमंत्री जी के बहुत स्पष्ट निर्देश हैं कि दिल्ली को इस संकट से बाहर निकालना है।
Home Minister clarified that there is no community transmission of the disease in Delhi. Responding to the statement by Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia, he said the scenario of over 5.5 lakh COVID patients in the national capital by 31st July will not come.
अभी ये स्थिति दिल्ली में नहीं आई है। ऐसी स्थिति इसलिए दिखाई देती थी क्योंकि करे हुए टेस्टों में 30% पॉजिटिव आते थे, मगर वो इसलिए आते थे कि आप अंतिम समय में ही टेस्ट में ले जाते थे। अब जब हम 20,000 टेस्ट करने लगे तो ये स्थिति नहीं है।
Home Minister Amit Shah said a number of effective measures have been taken in the past couple of weeks to boost COVID testing, tracing and treatment in Delhi. Testing has increased 4.5 times. Chain of command has been made clear. Treatment is affordable in private hospitals. Hospital beds have been increased from 10,000 to 30,000 beds.
30 जून तक हमने 30,000 बेड बन जाएंगे। रेलवे कोचिस के अंदर 8,000 बेड बने और 8,000 की तैयारी है, मगर मैं अभी 8,000 ही गिन रहा हूँ। DRDO एक एक्सक्लूसिव कोविड अस्पताल बना रही है जिसमें 250 आईसीयू बेड भी होंगे, विथ वेंटिलेटर होंगे, वो अलग से बने हैं। और 10,000 का आईटीबीपी संचालित राधा स्वामी सत्संग न्यास के बड़े कैंपस के अंदर बारिश की सीजन को ध्यान में रखकर हमने बेड बनाए हैं, इसको आईटीबीपी संचालित करने वाली।
In the 45-minute-long interview, Home Minister discussed the plan to deal with the challenge of COVID pandemic and the role of better coordination between the centre and the Delhi government. With Sudhakar Das, DD India.
And India is marching ahead in the fight against COVID-19. The efforts made by the government are showing encouraging results as the gap between recoveries and active cases is widening and the recovery rate is improving with each passing day. The number of recoveries have surpassed the number of active cases by over 1 lakh. There are 2,03,051 active cases, while 3,09,712 people have recovered. 13,832 people have recovered in the last 24 hours, and the recovery rate is at 58.56%. India now has 1,036 diagnostic labs dedicated to COVID-19. This includes 749 in the government sector and 287 private labs. India currently has 1,055 dedicated COVID hospitals with 1,77,529 isolation beds, 23,168 ICU beds and 78,060 oxygen-supported beds. Now, 2,400 dedicated COVID health centers have been set up with 1,40,099 isolation beds, 11,508 ICU beds and 51,371 oxygen-supported beds. And these have been operationalized. 9,519 COVID care centers with 8,34,128 beds has also been operationalized. The center has also provided 187.43 lakh N95 masks and 116.99 lakh personal protective equipments, that is PPE kits, to the states, union territories and central institutions. The death toll has risen to 16,095 and the total number of cases is at 5,28,859. And one of the largest evacuation missions of its kind, both in terms of magnitude and geographical reach, Vande Bharat mission continues successfully. Giving the latest update on the status of the special flights, Union Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri said that over 150,000 Indians have returned on Vande Bharat flights and 55,000 have flown out of the country to their respective countries so far. With phase 4 of the mission all set to soar, these numbers will further increase significantly. More Indians will be able to return home. On Sunday, that is yesterday, 4,784 people returned to India from different countries. After 55 days of deployment to the southern Indian Ocean region as part of Mission Sagar, Indian naval ship INS Kesari arrived at Kochi airport on Sunday. The ship was deployed on a special COVID relief mission and made port calls for delivery of 580 tons of food aid and essential medical stores to local authorities. Further, a 14-member naval medical assistance team was also deputed to Mauritius and Comoros for 20 days each and assisted local governments in formulation of long-term strategy to counter COVID-19 through mutual sharing of experience. The shipment of essential medicines and medical assistance team as part of Mission Sagar reaffirms India's role as a preferred security partner in the Indian Ocean region and reflects India's commitment to work together with its maritime neighbors and partners in the Indian Ocean region. The ship's long deployment in rough seas and difficult times towards delivery of essential medical aid has been widely appreciated by these countries. Prime Minister of Mauritius, Pravind Kumar Jugnauth, had personally thanked Prime Minister Narendra Modi during a telephonic conversation last month for deployment of INS Kesari. Similarly, heads of states and senior dignitaries from other countries had also expressed gratitude for the timely aid. And shopping malls in Gurugram are all set to reopen from the 1st of July. However, the mall administration will have to follow strict standard operating procedure after the malls reopen. Haryana government had earlier given permission to reopen the malls across the state from June 7th, except Gurugram and Faridabad, although the surge in cases of COVID-19 has not seen any relaxation in the state. And talking of other states, Assam government has again imposed a lockdown. From 7 p.m. on Sunday, a complete lockdown has been enforced in Guwahati for 14 days. Initial few days of the lockdown will also see restrictions being imposed on shops selling vegetables and other essentials. And Kamal Bora is joining us to get us more on that. Kamal, we tell our viewers that the lockdown has been again imposed in Assam. Get us the details.
Yes, Pidi, see the situation, the COVID scenario, if we talk about the overall scenario, the total number has crossed 7,000 mark. It has become 7,492 active cases have been reported so far. That indicates somewhere the situation was critical. But if we see the active cases at this moment, it is just about 2,500 only, not more than that. So it shows that the recovery rate has improved quite good, and it has become 71% recovery rate. But in Guwahati, the situation is very critical because most of the cases reported so far has no travel history. And in view of that only, the state government has to impose stricter lockdown from Sunday 7 p.m. onwards till 12 July next month. So this is how the state government is trying to restrict the further infections of this disease, further spread of this disease in this Guwahati city. And this time this is much more stricter than earlier period, because even grocery shops are also not opening during this lockdown period. If we talk about the petrol pumps, in the city, only 23 petrol pumps have been specified that can operate during this lockdown. 8 in National Highway 37 and another 15 in the city itself. So this is how the state government is trying to contain the spread. Police department has also said that no vehicle can fly in the city if it is a private vehicle, if it public transportation, no vehicle can fly, no people can come out of their homes except the essential people engaged with essential services. So this is how state government is trying every possible efforts to contain the spread. And the health department, health minister has also employed nurses, 300 more nurses on regular basis to deal with the issue. So every possible efforts are being made to contain the spread. If we talk about all over Assam, in other cities, other towns of the state, there are Saturday and Sunday lockdown has been announced, and the curfew, the state-wise curfew is also in place from 7 p.m. every day, and until further notice, it will be continuing. So this is how.
All right. So strict lockdown has been imposed in Assam for 14 days. Thank you so much, Kamal, for joining us with those inputs. And in Manipur, the state government has extended the lockdown from July 1st to 15th. Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh on Sunday said that the inter-district bus service will be operational between July 1st and 15th, maintaining all COVID-19 safety measures, and no other public transport will ply during this period. The decision about continuing with the bus service beyond July 15th will be taken later on. And Mumbai police have seized more than 7,000 vehicles on Sunday for violation of 2 kilometers guideline. Now, this is the highest number of vehicles seized in a day so far. The action was taken against the violators of new guidelines, which restrict movement of Mumbaikars to within a 2 kilometers radius of their respective residences. Now, according to the police, movement beyond 2 kilometers is permitted only for attending office or in case of medical emergencies. Visits to markets and salons have been restricted to within a 2 kilometers radius from the residence. Besides this, social distancing norms are to be followed and wearing a mask is mandatory. Also, night curfew is still in place. Therefore, no movement of persons except for essential activities is allowed between 9 p.m. and 5 a.m. In Tamil Nadu state capital Chennai, lockdown has been in place for 14 days from 19th of June. Madurai administration has announced a complete lockdown from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. starting today. People will be allowed to move out to buy essentials like milk, medicines or visit hospitals. That's it in this edition of the News Sasa. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.